Yeah, all good. All good. Good evening. Just go for a nice, peaceful walk this evening. Yeah, it's a nice evening, and I was a little bit reflecting on the walk. I'm going to be doing a session in the next couple of hours or so over Zoom with the Australasian Soccer Academy over Zoom, and the sort of sessions I do is around well-being and preparing mentally for matches, so to speak. And but whilst I was sort of putting together the presentation for this week's session the other day, I was a little bit reflecting, and I couldn't help think that in life, in football specifically, everyone has a different starting point to their journey. Everybody has a different set of opportunities, different situation, different variables. And I think for me, comparing where you are today compared to somebody else can damage your confidence and have a negative impact on your development. And don't get me wrong, I think it's important to have a benchmark, to have an idea, physically, technically, tactically, to have an idea, psychologically, to have an idea, have a benchmark. I mean, you can measure the benchmark more specifically around fitness. So you got an idea, you break down the normative data, fitness testing. And don't get me wrong, I think it's important to have a benchmark. But equally, I think what's also important is once you've got that benchmark, you focus on yourself. Because if you compare your progress to somebody else, if you compare where you are today compared to where someone else is, without sort of taking into consideration all the different variables, it can impact your own development. And I think for me, it's about being clear where you want to improve, having your own goals, having your own short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, but also every day you're looking to improve, to make your own improvements. Very clear on the outcomes you're looking to improve. And that could be across different variables, fitness, psychological, tactical, technical. So every session you're looking to improve, and you're running your own race metaphorically, thinking, oh, this is where I am today, this is where I want to be tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Obviously, physical goals can take longer to see improvements in terms of, benchmarking your own progress, but equally you can still sort of scaffold physical goals, you can sort of scaffold other goals as well in terms of, psychologically, tactically, you work with coaches and so on and so forth. That's my take on it. I'm not here to give advice or make suggestions. All I'm saying that for me, if you keep looking across someone else's lane, so it's almost like a sprint. If you keep looking across somebody else's lane, then you might trip over your own feet, metaphorically speaking. So it's about, keeping your eyes on your own journey, your own starting point, and where you're going. And yeah, like I said before, I'm all for having sort of benchmarks, but I think equally if you sort of focus too much on comparing yourself to that benchmark, it can distract you from where you are today, not taking into consideration all the number of variables that are important in terms of how somebody else might have got to where they are, and so on and so forth. But that's my take on it. You might see it differently. Everyone's got a different take on things, so it's always good to have other people's sort of thoughts and feedback.